So, hello and welcome back to Exploring Azeroth with Beryl and sometimes Onyx too. Not too much Onyx the last couple of episodes, but that's okay because she'll be back. Don't ever worry about that. And we are exploring Icecrown. Now, Icecrown is honestly so big that it probably deserves like 5,000 episodes. But, this is a quick overview of the whole thing, starting over here at the Crusaders' Onslaught Harbor, which is an area, honestly, I had not really done anything in. There must be quests associated with it, but none that I actually remember doing. And I've got the achievement for doing Icecrown, so let me know in the comments if there's just a chain of quests that I blanked out on or missed. But I thought this place was really cool. You can see all of the Scarlet Crusaders here, and it's just a really neat area that honestly I did not know that much about. So, of course, me being me, I kind of looked it up and it didn't really have a lot on it. Now, the Crimson Cathedral that's over here, it's supposed to be the spiritual center of the Scarlet Onslaught, and inside, the recently resurrected and promoted Archbishop Landgren tends to his flock, and he keeps the secret of Grand Admiral Barian Westwind's location, which we know is down there in that hollow. So, not a whole heck of a lot in here. This is not exactly a church that you want to attend services in, though, that's for sure, considering there's an Iron Maiden in one corner and stocks all lining the aisle here. But, what else do you expect from the Scarlet Crusade? So we're going to move on from here and head up to the Vrukal village of Yodenheim. I'm probably butchering the saying of that, but then again, I butcher the saying of darn near everything. Jotunheim is the largest Vrukal village in Northrend. It is the place where the Vrukal were first reawakened from their magical sleep, and it is the second most important place to them. The very first being Yimmerheim, which I probably also butchered the name of. And it's a place that's trying to put Utgard Keep to shame just for all the skulls that they use to decorate darn near everything. Now they've got a challenge pit in Yodenheim, and they have all sorts of other little houses. And you know, it's funny, I really love the whole Vrukal aesthetic in the houses, but you have to fight your way into them, and that's just no fun. Jotunheim is actually named after Jotunheimer, which was the home of the Jotuns, or giants in Norse mythology. Also, Jotunheimen is a large mountain chain in Norway. Heim is a Nordic, possibly deriving from the Norse language word which means home. So there, little factoid that I didn't know until now, but you know, it's always a good thing to know. Here in Jotunheim, you have the Bellegarde Fortress, the Battlescar Spire, Death's Rise, the Halls of the Ancestors, Kulgar Keep, the Nordar Village, the Savage Ledge. You've got all sorts of amazing little things, and a couple of archaeology dig sites, which is how I usually end up coming here and cursing under my breath because these are probably the worst dig sites in Northrend because they're so darn spread out. And that's how I mostly know of this area. Now, Valhal is a battle pit that is in this northern end of Jotunheim. The pit's decorated by wooden dragon heads, and it is overseen by a Valkyr named Gernif and Gjoner the Merciless. Opposite of Valhal is an entrance into the mountains, which leads into the Underhalls, a dank place that is filled with bones and rotting flesh. Valhal is named after the Vrukal word for the halls of valor, where the worthy souls of fallen Vrukal go after death. Modern Bronzebeard believes that it is a perversion of the name done after the Vrukal of Northrend turned their backs on the Keepers. During the war against the Lich King, the Vrukal fought each other in the pit, the place where they preferred to do honorable combat. The winners became the Ymgir, and I probably completely butchered that word yet again, and the loser would become Vargal, an undead creature. So that was kind of interesting. Following the war against the Jailer, the Bronzebeard reported that the Vrukal are still challenging each other down in the pit, this time without a death god to serve. Interesting thought. Now over here we have the Shadow Vault. The Shadow Vault is an outpost of the Ebon Blade Knights. It's located near the Desolation Gate, overlooking the North Sea, and it's like a part of ICC that was wandered off and sealed over to brood. Just to the south and down is the Weeping Quarry, where a lot of interesting little quests are done. And the Shadow Vault is just, it's kind of a cool little place. You can definitely tell that it's the Knights of the Ebon Blade, because if you've ever made a Death Knight, all these forges will look awfully familiar to you. You also have some dailies here of cleaning out the vault, and you can meet the Duke here, who we will go meet here in just a second. And there he is. Now, he's trying to pretend that he is still under the control of the Lich King. Obviously, he's not, but, you know, he's trying to pretend. And he's doing a great job of it. Now we're just going to go right over here to Aldathar, the Desolation Gate. You know, I'm just going to start using the regular words for these. It is the second line of defense that is used by the Scourge and Icecrown. The gate and the walls are made almost totally of sartanite, and it is almost indestructible, and it is manned by all of these nasty little Scourge constructs. Just beyond the gate is the Valley of the Fallen Heroes, where you have a lot of kind of annoying quests. I remember the quests being quite annoying. Not really any trivia on this, just sort of yet another line of defense. And as you can see down below me, there is yet another archaeology. This village is Yodenheim. And I know I said that wrong, but oh well. It's high above Icecrown, and it's also a dig site. Also, since it happened to just be right over top of us, I figured we would jump on board and just explore the skyship. The Alliance Skybreaker is a gunship that patrols above Icecrown, and it serves as a mobile base of operation for Alliance forces. The Horde have their own gunship, and I did not jump on it in this because I forgot to pull Onyx out. But this is where you can get a whole bunch of daily quests. The Skybreaker is 3 decks. It's interconnected by some ramps. The main deck is the largest. It holds most of the vessel's offense and defense. Mounted on both sides are twin battery turrets. The lower decks has cannons down below. And though there isn't a direct flight path to the ship, it is possible to get a ride to the Skybreaker by speaking with Officer Van Rossem at Krause's Landing in Dalron. So that is something I actually did not know. And now that I know, I'm kind of mad at myself because I know. So you learn something new almost every day, even when you've been playing this game for a very long time. Like I said, Icecrown was, I think, my least favorite zone to do to get Lore Master. And I really feel like I've blanked most of the quests from Icecrown from my mind. Probably bad. I know a lot of people have really fond memories of Icecrown, but aesthetically, it just was not one that I really loved. So I did everything, but I did it when I was far over level, and I don't even think I read most of the quests, which makes me feel really bad. Now right here in Malagris, the Vialhold, is where you find the entrance to Icecrown Citadel, which is a raid that I have done. I've done it several times. I have never gotten any of the special mounts from it, probably because it's one of those that I enjoy doing, and then I forget that it's there. Which I probably shouldn't, because I would love to get Invincible someday, but it's just one of those things that I haven't ever actually done. Should get on that one of these days. Also off in the distance there, you could see a little silhouette of Dalron, which we will get to eventually, but not in this episode. We're going to head back down away from Icecrown Citadel and check out a few more areas. Scorge Home is a Scorge fortress that has a slaughterhouse and 3 Ziggurnauts. And as you can see, there are a bunch of Nerubians that are also kind of just tromping around down there. This area actually does phase a few times, depending on where you are in your questing. I don't think that I've ever had Beryl do the questing here, so she would just be in stage 1 of the phase. Now, the Argent Vanguard is the main forward base of the Argent Crusade, and it is located here in the Valley of Echoes. You have a lot of different quests, and it is also a phased area. Also, I did not realize that the person that is over there with the drakes is actually a dragon, and it kind of makes me wonder how many of the other defenders that are over here are actually dragons. I thought he was just a high elf, but turns out when you talk to him, he's a dragon. So, the more you know. Back over Scorge Home really quickly, along as we head on our way to Cinders Fall.
Hail.
Cinders Fall is the boneyard where the Lich King raised Cinders, the Frost Queen, the blue dragon, the mate of Malygos. She was desperately seeking to reach the dragon blight where all dragons instinctively go to die, and she only made it here to Icecrown. Much, much later, Arthas Menethil woke from his dormancy, and he journeyed to Cinders Fall, where he raised Cinders into undeath as a frostworm, and ordered her to lead the Frostbrood into war. Now, what I mostly know this area for, because I love pet battling, is this is also where you can get the little whelplings, which I do love. This is also where you can do one of the sadder quests in the game. You can meet a dying knight here at the Silent Vigil and help him complete his last tasks before he fades away into the light. It's kind of melancholy. Now over here, I didn't stay long enough, but evidently there is a fairly interesting dialogue scene that you can trigger if you are standing here long enough. Didn't know about it, so I didn't end up triggering it. It is just a very interesting place, and it's also considered a reliable marker for getting to the Argent Tournament grounds, since it is directly south of that. Now, the Argent Tournament grounds is the location for the base of the Argent Crusade's Argent Tournament. It is a full-featured quest hub with flight masters, profession trainers, vendors. You've got the raid and the dungeon here. It's actually got a lot going on that I kind of regret not doing back when it was current content, because it was probably a real lot of fun. Also over here is probably the biggest pain in my rear as far as pet battles go, and that is Major Pain. I've never managed to beat him. You would think that I would, considering I've looked up so many different strategy guides and it's never worked, which makes me very, very sad. One of these days I'll get you, Major Pain. One of these days. And that is about it. Thank you, as always, for joining me. Now, next week, we will be moving on to another huge area with so much stuff in it, and that is the Storm Peaks. It's an area that I do know a little bit better than Icecrown, because I guess I just find it a little more aesthetically pleasing. So, until then, next time, I will see you. Thank you for joining me. Leave me a thumbs up if you don't mind. It does always make me smile. And I will see you next week. Say goodbye, Beryl.